Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to this episode of the Determined Mom Show. I am Amanda Tento, and today I have with me Melissa Pyrch, and she is an author, teacher, writer, speaker. She does a lot of different things, and I'm really excited to have her here because she's going to be talking to us about how we can serve our kids and all of those things through our business. So I'm very, very excited about that. She's just amazing. So welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be here and to connect with your audience. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. In our podcast pre-call, we actually talked quite a bit about your story and kind of how you got started, but share with our audience how you decided to write a book, why, and kind of what you plan to help people with.
Sure. So I'm an English teacher. I've been an English teacher for over 20 years. And growing up, of course, I always had a love of literature and always a love for writing. And when I started teaching, I, went on to do my master's in creative writing and I always had this kind of drive to be published and to write a book and to figure out what it is that I could share with the world. And it took me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to share. And it really did come from my classroom. Over the years, I've shared countless stories with my students about my own upbringing, about my college journey, picking a major, figuring out to balance teaching with family and all these kind of life lessons that you figure out, unfortunately, with trial and error. So I decided one night to just sit down and start writing these stories down and these kind of lessons that were outside of what I teach in my classroom. And that became my book, Beyond the Bell, Lessons High School Failed to Teach. And right now I'm working on getting that book in, hopefully landing a literary agent. And someday soon that will happen and we'll get this on bookshelves and I can share all this stuff with a greater audience than just the kids that wind up in my classroom every day.
That's awesome. And I will say that I think all of us have kind of gained this huge appreciation for what teachers do in the year 2020.
Thank you.
Because we, I don't know how you do it. Like, I only have 3 kids and I can't imagine having 20 to 30 kids to monitor and look after and do all of those things at the same time as trying to teach them, it's, one thing to keep them under control and a whole other thing to actually get them to learn.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. And I agree with you. This year, more than ever, for teachers and moms, it's been really a game changer. And we've had to come up with all new strategies for reaching my kids in my classroom, but even my 3 children at home. I mean, this is not the way school is supposed to be. And there's a reason why many people don't homeschool.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's just a challenge for sure.
Yeah. It requires a level of patience that I don't think that I have. And I don't think that a lot of people have. It's just a certain special type of person. And that's why you guys are so valuable,
Thank you. Yeah. And I think too, I will be honest that the mom hat and suddenly trying to be a teacher at home is a totally different experience than when you're in that classroom. And having my own 3 children at home, it's funny because I'm doing this for 20 years. And sometimes I find myself fighting with my 8-year-old to finish an assignment when meanwhile I have 100 kids a day that are doing what I say.
Yeah.
But I'm mom at home. So it's a totally different animal. So yeah, we are challenged for sure right now in 2020 and 2021 for sure.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say that you probably gave all of the moms listening to this, a sigh of relief to know that you are too struggling with that home-based learning part of it. And you are a teacher. That just makes me relax.
Oh, yeah, it's different because I'm mom at home. I'm not Mrs. Pyrch at home. I'm mom and mom doesn't give assignments and mom doesn't, do the pushing of the content. Yeah. So mom gets snacks, have fun, and and does the laundry and all the other good things we get to do. So yeah, all of a sudden we're in these roles that really aren't meant for moms.
Yeah.
It's left for teachers.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely riding this train with all of you.
Yeah. Awesome. It's good to know. So tell us about how we can pursue our passion and do what you're doing, which is also serving your kids through your business while you're, working on that passion.
Yeah. So one of the things I think as moms we carry with us is guilt. Guilt to take care of ourselves. It feels, you want to go out to dinner with friends. There's guilt of, did my kids eat? Did I leave dinner on the table? I didn't see them all day. They're at school. Should I? It's just this thing we have as moms that we're forced to juggle. And I think we're hardest on ourselves. But what I've realized, and it took me a long time, it took me a while to figure out that I can actually serve my kids in a healthier way if I too am serving my own passions and giving myself what fills my cup. And I know we hear all of this, there's a big self-care term these days, but it still takes a growth within ourselves to be able to do that, to execute it. So what I figured out is, and one of my things, of course, has been writing this book. And I thought to myself, how in the world am I going to do what I've always wanted to do, which is write this book when I have 3 children? I mean, I don't know if I mentioned, I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys, 9, 6, and 2. And I work full time. And when I go home, I really want to give them my all. But I also want to be an author. I also want this book out, and I want my own passion to be fulfilled. So what I've figured out is I attach that to my children. I would never let my children down. I want to show them that they can chase any dream they want in life. So I figured out, and I've been able to process that if they are doing what they see, we see them, they repeat what we say, they act the way we do sometimes. I'm like, wait a second, if this is really how kids develop and grow, then if I'm doing what I love and show them that I can dream, chase my dream, then I'm doing more for them almost than I am for myself, because I'm showing them how to go, how to pursue your dream, and that anything is possible. And it's been really great for me because I've seen my kids invested in my dream. They see me typing every night. They see me, getting emails from literary agents. They see me getting rejected, and they're cheering me on. And I'm realizing that I'm serving them. So if you can attach your dream to your children and show that that will serve your kids, then the guilt dissipates. The guilt kind of goes away. And it's just, as important as getting a healthy meal on the table, giving the baths. This is just another task that's going to serve you and your children.
Yeah. Wow. That's very powerful. I can't even wrap my head around it exactly. But so what kind of things do you have them involved in doing in that book writing process? Because I'm very curious about that.
Yeah. So, well, I will tell you guys, one thing that my book is, again, it's a self-help book for teenagers. So I definitely have an Instagram following, and I try to share some of my messages and my motivational stuff with my audience on there. And my kids are great about helping me create pictures and being part of that. So they get a kick out of that. The other thing I have them do is when I get the query letter sent, I gather my kids around and I have them hit send with me. And we kind of send it out into the universe, and we all get really excited. And that, again, reminds them, oh, we're waiting for an answer. And then they get excited when the emails come in. They've been begging me, can we read your book? Can we read your book? And I said, when you're in high school, you could read the book. So I'll read them excerpts here and there. But I think, letting the kids, the visual to me is the most important thing. They see me on my computer. They see me doing the work. And sometimes I'll ask them, hey guys, what do you think is the best word for this? And then they'll say, I wrote part of it. I helped you edit that page. I think it's important for kids to be involved and see you chasing the dream, because how else can they think it's possible if they don't see it? How else can they see it?
I agree completely. And you're just reminding me of little things along the way that my kids do to help me with my business. I had my one daughter loves to edit out the ums in my videos. She's like, Mom, I want to do the thing. So I taught her how to edit out the ums, and she does a really good job at it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's learning. I mean, think about that. When we were kids, what was podcasting?
Yeah.
What was, what is a query letter? I didn't know when I was a kid. Our kids know these things, know this exists.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'll hear my 9-year-old, he'll work on a story for his, for class, and he'll say, "What do you think? Should I try to get an agent?" Which is amazing. 9 years old,
Yeah.
he's thinking, this is pretty good. Maybe I can go big with this. And I think that's where it starts for kids.
Yeah.
I think it's where it starts. It's so important. And making the time is also for moms, whether it's your business or whether it's your passion. We are always fighting for time, putting it in the schedule. So for a long time, what I did too is I made sure I was home by 3:00, 3 to 10 o'clock. I made sure I did the kids, the baths, the dinner. I, read stories, got them in bed, got lunches ready for the next day, got my own stuff ready. And then I would write from 10 to 12 every night. And I know that's a long day.
Yeah.
But it was either that's when I could fit it in. And it was like, okay, either I push myself or this doesn't happen. So that was my motivation. I wrote from 10 to 12 and, then I would get up and do it all over again. And it wasn't easy. It isn't easy to do that. But again, even if you carve that hour out, I'm just not a morning person. Everyone said, how come you don't get up at, 4:30 or 5? And because that's to me is miserable. Staying up till 12 is not terrible for me.
But
I think you can find it. I do think the time exists if you carve it out and commit to it. Commitment is key.
Yeah. I'm one of the early birds. I get up early so that way I can take my walk and have my chai and do all of the things without the kids. And yeah, so I agree. And I actually started writing a book too back in, I feel like it was like October, maybe. I can't remember, but it kind of fell off because then we ended up buying a house, moving across the country, all that stuff. So
life gets in the way for sure.
Yeah, but I need to get back to my baseline, and then I can go ahead and start having that ritual again. And I think what you're saying is a very important part of kind of what you said back at the beginning, which is about that, not letting your own dreams go just because you're a mom and you're working full time and all of those things. Those are kind of excuses. I mean, they're very hard to overcome, but you just have to get that mental, your mental state in the right place. And then, you can do it. You're proof.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes it doesn't work and you have to let yourself off the hook too. Like you said, you're moving across the country. Yes, your priorities are shifting, right? Yep. When I first had my first son, I was so overwhelmed by trying to figure out how to be a working mom and have this baby that the thought of pursuing anything else was just too overwhelming. And it's interesting because when I had my third son, it was that he was born in February and it was that October that I thought, I'm ready. I have all my children. They're healthy. I got this. I know what to do now as a mom, 3 kids in, you know, and I felt like it was the time for me. So yes, timing is key. And I think when it feels right, you'll know, and you'll be excited about the adventure.
Yeah.
Not overwhelmed. We do not want to overwhelm any moms any more than we already are right now.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. So do you have any words of wisdom that you can, you've already given us a ton of wisdom. So do you have any additional words of wisdom about involving your kids or pursuing your passion or both or
Yeah, I think one thing too for me that has been really helpful is to surround yourself with people that are like-minded and are going for it, because it fuels you. One of my greatest friends is a yoga teacher, a yoga instructor. She's also a full-time teacher, mom of 3, and she always is just a great example of making time to take her walks, to teach yoga, to do meditations. And that's been so valuable for me to have her friendship because, she's got something other than, right? Surrounding yourself with those people. I'm also a huge Ed Milet fan. I love him. I deal with his content every day. Listen to those podcasts that fuel you and get you fired up, because it's really easy as a mom to get weighed down and fizzle with your business, with whatever it is you're pursuing. And sometimes your family cannot be supportive of it because they want you to, they want you to do other things. So you surround yourself with other friends or podcasts or content that fuels you. And this podcast is a perfect example of life beyond the responsibilities and the tasks of family and going outside and beyond. So anything like that, I think, has been such great fuel. And I think every day, fill your cup with this kind of stuff every day.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I love it. And when your book comes out, we will be sharing that. And I'll go back and put that link into the show notes. But you've had so much value for us today. And just that reminder, I think it's like, to me, it feels like a spark, a catalyst for even myself, just to kind of get back on track and know that I can do it. And I need to do that. So
yeah, I mean, I think moms, we create life. We can, I mean, come on, what else? I sometimes I have that. I'm like, I can do that. Look what I look at my boys. I'm like, look at 3 girls. Look what you've already done. This is nothing.
Yep, exactly. I agree. And just the things that we have to do on a daily basis just to keep them alive and safe and healthy and clean and just all that stuff is also in there.
The easy part. What we're doing now is the easy part.
And the fun part too.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Melissa. Where can people connect with you? I know you said Instagram is a good place. Is there anywhere else? And what is your handle on Instagram?
Yeah. So my Instagram handle is @Pyrch Gets Published. It's PYRCH Gets Published. And that's where you can follow my journey in this publication craziness. And you can also find me at melissapyrch.com. And that's where you can keep up with any podcasts that I've done, any writing that I've done on the internet. And if you want to hook up there or send an email, you can find me and we can connect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for your, again, words of wisdom.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
This episode of the Determined Mom Show is brought to you by the free Facebook group, Mastering Google My Business to Increase Your Revenue. Inside of this group, you'll get insights into new features of Google My Business, and you'll learn how to master your Google My Business listing in order to increase your revenue. This is free to join, and you can find it on Facebook by searching Mastering Google My Business to Increase Your Revenue inside of the Facebook groups.